Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and as always, enjoy the one cycle. I end up with about a 2-minute end fight here, which I'm perfectly fine with. After all, it's fairly average for a normal speedrun. And you'll see here I craft my 5 beds, and I do also craft 2 respawn eggs just to be safe, though in the end I only need the 5 beds. Actually in the end wasn't too great of a one cycle, but I guess it's all okay. And I'm perfectly happy with 5 beds. You'll see after entering the end here, I set up my one cycle pillar in the middle, and I thankfully have plenty of crying obby to do that. I enter the end here at about 10 minutes, and unfortunately it was a 0 eye here, so I do have to craft all 12 eyes, which takes a bit of time, but I guess it's all okay. My nether portal here, unfortunately I wasn't able to get it quite in the portal room, so I do have to go a bit away, and I did do some head titters on the way, which I thought was pretty cool. After dropping this ravine, I have to build my end portal in a very specific spot to at least get into stronger tool. It's quite a difficult one to navigate, but I do manage to enter the second overworld around 10 minutes flat, which is fairly okay pace. On my way there, you do see that I have to dig through lots of this 1x1 area, which is a bit of time loss, but after a bit I'm just able to throw a pearl through the 1x1 bit, which I thought was overall like a really cool thing that I did in this run. I have to make my way up to the top of the Bastion here, just so that I'm able to leave, as unfortunately the rest was blocked off. Unfortunately with these trades here, I kind of low roll because I have to wait quite a while for the 10th obby. I seem to be sitting on 9 for ages. I check on my extra gold, but eventually I do get it, which I guess is cool in the end. I have to also difficulty to hoggle to hard here for this Bastion, as it just allows for extra piglins, which overall I think is pretty nice. I do end up digging my fairly standard hole in this top-down housing route, and then at the bottom mine my 3 gold blocks, which is what I usually do for these. This top-down is fairly normal, though the piglin placement here as I go down is kind of really wacky. I don't know why, but for some reason they all fell down to this area, and there were just a gang of 10 of them, which I thought was pretty funny, but it was all okay. I do unfortunately here, as I'm opening my chest, I kind of mess up the gold boots. I accidentally throw them to the piglin rather than putting them on, but it's still okay because thankfully there weren't too many piglins there. On my way to the Bastion from the fortress, I craft suspicious cheese, and you'll see I make really good use there of the dandelions that I grabbed at the very start in the overworld, as even though obviously it's not great strat grabbing dandelions too much, for this run it worked out pretty well because it's just a second to grab them, and I am only using 3 food for the entire run. You saw there, Matt, I end up leaving on 6 for 13 blaze rods, which is okay. It's slightly below average, but my spawns are fairly good, so I'll take that. And unfortunately it wasn't a great one because I had to do this fortress first, and I could have done 5 run distance water forest, but that does get really chaotic. And I didn't get particularly great spawns anywhere. I ended up with quite a few skeletons and wither skeletons, so I had to do this entire blaze bit basically without taking any damage, because obviously you saw earlier that I got sniped on the way into the fortress, which was kind of annoying there. Initially my blaze rates are actually really bad here. I end up 1 for 6, though thankfully it does pick up a bit later, and I was actually thinking, oh, I might have to reset here or something. But again, you'll see I'm using this 2 blocks in the middle just to be really tight. I'm actually pretty happy I managed to do this without taking any damage. I did get hit by 1 melee blaze, as you saw just there, but I guess it's fine. It's not the end of the world. I also get fairly lucky here, getting a 3 spawn fairly early on before I mined out all of it. Though I think my spawn rates at the start of this weren't particularly great. Well, I think the time between spawns, the spawn rates were perfectly fine. There was only 1 there at the start. And just get in there, I build this 2 high pillar so I could jump up and then stop the blaze from shooting at me. I do also on the way in there place off just a few blocks just in case wither skeleton does spawn. And you'll see here's where I get hit by a blaze, which is kind of annoying. On my way here, I actually do this really nice jump. It's probably a 7 block jump, but using a bow I'm able to do it pretty nicely. And actually on my way to the fortress is why I crafted the slabs earlier. I have to do this slab speed bridging, which I actually nailed pretty well. I'm about to enter my nether around 2:30 here. As you'll see, I built my portal. It's a fairly standard magma portal there. This was actually like the only place in the whole ravine I could build it, but it worked out well. Like, it was just a fairly ordinary portal build here. You see, I head to the portal, and on my way I grabbed flint. I actually got flint first try there, which was really nice. And that was after leaving this shipwreck, where I grabbed 8 iron, which is more than enough for the run. Just before I leave this island here, I do grab these 3 dandelions, which again, you'll see later in the run is actually going to be really useful. I do the standard ocean spawn thing here of crafting an axe, then I actually grabbed 9 logs here for the slabs, as well as all the other stuff, which is overall pretty nice. In this video, I'm going to speedrun the Minecraft seed reverse.